Hey guys, welcome along to the BBQ Talks Show. Back again for another week's worth of fun. So, my name is Matt, and this over here.
Hello, my name is Ryan. So, let's get into the show, Matt. Let's talk about what we've been up to this week, because obviously we've had some great, really busy weeks. As always, what have you been doing with yourself? Obviously, you've been a little bit poorly, but have you had a chance to
Absolutely nothing. I've done nothing with myself because I've been recovering from my surgery, which seems a lot better. So I'm up, moving, less pain, so it's good. We're getting there. So. What about you, mate? What are we doing?
Well, what I've been doing, I've been on a bit of a journey. I went off to see Tom from Barbecue Life UK. Picked up it's sort of like a Blackstone hot plate thing to cook on. While I was doing that, I tested out my meter, managed to mess the video up by not having the sound working like a pillock. So I've got a load of really good footage with no sound to it. So I'll just scrap that and start again and do another video. But tested the meter out. That worked really cool. What else did I do? Yeah, that was it. Cooked a big pork butt, which was really tasty. That's it, really. Nothing, just work.
Always the way, isn't it, mate? Guys, don't forget our check out the website. We've added blog posts to it. Russell from the Rusty Barbecue Company has given us a lovely little about a 13 episode series so far on the science of barbecue. Go check it out, guys. Really good read. He breaks down all of his rubs, how he makes them, different techniques and things like that. Go check that out. Go and have a read. Really good. Don't forget we've got discounts on our website as well now. 15% off a meter, 10% off the Rusty Barbecue Co. And we'll be adding more as they come on. We're actively looking for people to help us with promotions for different stuff to give back to the community and to you guys that are watching. Also, we podcast as well each week. Although the podcasts have been a little bit hit and miss with me being in recovery, they've been a little bit hit and miss, but hopefully they'll go back to being a normal release very soon. You'll find that everywhere you find a podcast. So Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all of the places you'd find a normal one. Yeah. So this week's guest, we've got Steve Ray on this week, haven't we?
We have, yeah.
Carry on, mate.
I'm really looking forward to it. I can't get. I'm really eager to get out the blocks on this one. I've got a really good feeling about this interview. I think it's going to be a really, really interesting guy to chat with. He covers he covers a lot of subjects, so it's going to be pretty cool.
Definitely. He's got an excellent podcast called the Owls Nest BBQ. He's also got a big Facebook group with the same name, so go check that out. And he's got some amazing interviews as well. He's had interviews from the likes of Malcolm Reed, Jeff Rice, who we had on a couple of weeks ago. That's just to name a few of the names that he's had, and he's had some other big names on there as well. He's here to chat about his show. Oh, sorry, banging the mic around. Chat about his show, All Things Q, and his shop as well. So let's get him in and let's have a talk. Hi, Steve. How are you doing, mate?
Matt and Ryan. Let me be the first to say, cheers. Cheers to my friends, my barbecue friends in London, England.
Thank you very much.
Is this
all
not
the very
amazing?
best to you as well.
This is amazing that we can do this. This is amazing.
The joys of the internet allows us to break down those barriers of distance. It's really good.
Mark Cuban had no idea what he was doing when he invented internet television.
Now we're sat here talking to you, well, as if we're in the same room.
Like I was in the same. Let's see, what do y'all call it? The next, the next, is it a flat y'all live in apartments, or what are they called? like the next
home house.
home.
Next,
Home.
neighbors?
Oh, that's an unusual word. See, we don't use home.
What
Here
would you
in
call
the States.
Home. Wow.
No, we
what
don't.
did
I
you
was
just
kidding. We
call
do.
your neighbors? Just neighbors.
Neighbors.
Guys, Pickles has put Steve's YouTube link in the chat. If you want to
cheers,
go and
Charlie.
check it out, go and give the guy a thumbs up. And if you like his stuff, give him a subscribe and ring the bell. Make sure you get notified when he goes live or when he releases his content.
Mhm.
I just want to say too that we are simulcasting onto my my Facebook page, the Owls Nest BBQ page on Facebook. So we are globally covered this afternoon.
Ah, there you go. So we're all over the place today. Excellent.
From Ottawa to London, England. Who would have ever thought?
And
you go.
beyond.
Absolutely.
Totally global.
Absolutely.
So, Steve, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? How long have you been cooking over flames? All the good stuff.
Oh gosh. Not let me see. Let me put a pencil up here. Ryan, not really that long. 7 years since I was serious about it. 7 years.
Oh, wow.
I'm not one of those lifetime barbecue guys.
Mm-hmm.
I started when we were discussing last night. I was watching a marathon of barbecue pitmasters one rainy February Sunday afternoon, and I became enthralled with it. I had no idea that there were even a barbecue contest circuit, much less people cooking barbecue and talking smack. And I just kept watching and watching and watching, and it was the most incredible thing I'd ever seen. And I said, I want to be a part of this. And that's where it was launched. It sure was, off of television. So thank you, John Marcus and Myron Mixon, for getting me started. Absolutely.
Some good people to look at and get inspired from, definitely.
Yeah.
100% true there. I totally agree with you, mate. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. Started watching barbecue stuff, and as we all did probably. But
it was incredible the boom in barbecue that the Barbecue Pitmasters series started. It was people like me, you. There's the story that I tell is told by hundreds of people.
Mm.
They just saw it on television and they wanted to be part of it. And and it's the great. I used to play golf, and I quit playing golf to take up barbecue full time.
Wow.
And I loved golf. I still love golf, but you can't do both because you can't do both. So, but I'm glad I made this decision.
Two very time-consuming hobbies, that's for sure. Golf and barbecue.
See, now you're onto a little niche there. You could get a smoker mounted to the back of the golf caddy, play your round of golf whilst cooking your brisket.
Well, let's see. I'm trying to think if I've done that, Matt. We've the chef here at the club. The way we live not on the golf course, but right next to it. And the chef at the clubhouse is a good friend of mine. He's a fellow barbecue competitor, and we've teamed up on a couple events here in the neighborhood. And I'm trying to think if we haven't done any mobile smoking yet, but that's not a bad idea. I could see us driving around in a little golf cart, pulling my little barbecue trailer. I've got a small one, and selling barbecue out the back. I like that idea.
You want to get one of those Green Mountain grills mounted to a golf caddy.
Mm-hmm. A Davy Crockett would fit perfect.
Absolutely. There you go.
How funny would that
be? An absolute match made in heaven. If not, or a very good YouTube video. One of the two.
The YouTube video. That would be the one. The YouTube video. Maybe I get some more subscribers.
I'm putting my stamp on that. That was my idea.
Yeah, let's just go for it. You got the equipment, you got the hobby. Go and do it. I look forward to seeing it, mate.
We'll find one of the dishes and we'll call it the mat. So this is the mat.
Yeah.
So
Carry on, Ryan.
I was just about to step in. Okay, I didn't mean to step on your toes. I was just going to say, what are your favourite pits? You must have loads of barbecues, but what is your favourite sort of like go-to pit to use on a, like, you get in from work, you just want to cook something? What would you go and use?
Well, that one, it would be the Green Mountain Grill, the Daniel Boone. I've got one on my back porch. Of course, we sell them. I'm new to the pit. I'm new to the pellet smoker phenomenon. I just started in February. I never cooked on one, and I got one, and they're incredible. I can't believe the way they hold temperatures. I can't believe how fast you can get the temperatures up, and to sear hamburgers and steaks. They're fantastic. That's my go-to. I cook more at the gas station in the store more than I do at home, actually, because I'm at the station so many hours. It's it's easy to go in a half an hour early and bring the smoker outside, set up the tent, get it started, prep a little chicken, a pork butt, even a brisket, and get it on and cook it during the day. People like to come by and watch that. They'll have questions, and it makes it kind of a festive occasion. But my favorite thing to cook on, if somebody said, you have to get rid of all your pits and you can only keep one, would be my Myron Mixon 48-inch water cooker. That is, without a doubt, the most impressive piece of equipment I've ever smoked on. I've got cabinet smokers, of course, for competition. And this one's I don't have my trailer's not big enough to accommodate the Myron Mixon 48. But when we do big cooks at the shop, that's my go-to. That thing runs like a Ferrari. It's incredible. It is utterly incredible. Equipment.
Yeah. Absolutely. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big old beast of a smoker, isn't it?
Yeah, it weighs about 800.
I've seen stuff about them now.
I think it weighs 850 pounds. I ought to do I've never done a video of it. And it just sits back there, and I should get it out and do a full, one of those look what I got videos, and just explain it to the people. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, I'm gonna put it out there. I've not heard of. I know that Myron Mixon has made or had made smokers, but I don't really know much about them. So yeah, I mean, if you do a video on it, I'd certainly watch it. It'd be interesting.
I can give you the abridged version real quick, Matt. It's a double door cabinet. The firebox is on the bottom, and it runs all the way through the cabinet. The cabinet's about 48 inches long, and you build the fire in the bottom, and between the fire and the racks for the meat is a big pan, and you hook a hose to this smoker, and it's got an automatic fill on it, a ball valve, and you fill the pan up with water. And as the heat, of course, as the fire burns, it boils the water, and the smoke comes up from the sides of there's holes where the smoke comes up from the sides. So as you're cooking the meat, smoking it, it's getting steam and a lot of it, and you can cook at extremely high temperatures. I'll throw. If I do 4 or more pork butts, I'll crank that up. It'll accommodate 20, but I'll do 4 or 5 on it just to get it out and play with it. And
what sort of temperature would you run that at normally then? If you were running, like say, 4 pork butts,
310 degrees, and I'll get them done. I'll get them done like 5.5 hours. Yeah. That's the beauty of it. It's you can do it, and because of the water in there. I mean, you can flat out jam on it. It's almost like a barbecue microwave.
With the water. Sorry,
carry on, Ryan.
I would just say with the water in the pit, does it give the meat a little bit more of an intensive smoke flavor? Because obviously water and smoke on meat, it sort of keys in a bit more, doesn't it? If it's damper,
it gives it a very unique flavor. Nothing you can if you were to line up 3 pork butts in a row and you cooked one on a say a gravity feed charcoal cooker, and you cooked one on a Green Mountain grill, and then you cooked one on a Myron Mixon water cooker, I could definitely pick out the taste on the water cooker. It's got a unique the moistness is there. It's got a unique, and and when I say a unique flavor, it's a very good flavor. The smoke seems to have penetrated a little bit more than on other smokers that I've used. At least that's what I've found. We've done several sales. We do a couple times a year. We'll do big sales, cook 60 or 70 butts, and we'll sell them. And nobody's brought one back yet, so they're pretty good.
Do you find that you have to season more with the water cooker than say one of the other cookers? With the more moisture, do you find that the seasoning is sort of washed off in effect, or
no? Not really, Matt. When I do my philosophy on pork butts and briskets is I don't worry too much about the outside. I'm on as far as the prep goes. I usually use maybe salt and a little pepper, and that's about it. Because it doesn't, the meat's so thick, it doesn't penetrate the meat. The flavor you get in a pork butt, at least, and a brisket, is through injection. So I'll inject heavily, and then I'll use rubs when I'm pulling it. It's when I will introduce the rubs to the equation, and mix the meat and the rubs, and give it the flavor then. And
what's your sort of go-to injection then for pork butts?
Butcher's barbecue pork injection. I'll mix it with apple juice.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good flavor. And I try to tell people the best pork butt I ever had was a fella came to the station one time. We cooked a small hog. He was doing a church function, and he brought the hog, and we got it on the smoker, and he brought some pork butts, and he injected them with this mango juice concoction that he made up, and he wrapped them in banana leaves, and we put them on the smoker and cooked them. And I'm not kidding. That was the most tender, most flavorful pork butt I've ever tasted in my life. So I tell people that don't be afraid to use a citrus, pineapple, mango, anything, orange juice. It makes a good product. It really does.
Yeah. I've injected the pineapple juice, but I've never thought about mixing rubs in it or anything like that. It's a good idea.
It's this guy, he had, I bet there was a list of 50 ingredients he had, and it worked. I don't know if it would be I don't know if it would hit at a contest or not, but for the backyard and for the church groups and things like that, it was wonderful. We really enjoyed it. So don't be afraid. Use anything you want. People are always, they're always, they want to cook, but then they want to, go online and, look at a proven method and, maybe, be copycats. Don't be copycats. You can learn a method, but the flavor is what's fun about barbecue. Anybody can watch a video and set a smoker at a temperature and stick it on and do a timetable, do a timeline. And that's a talent, but the talent is getting the flavor to it. And that's what I enjoy.
You only mess it up once.
That's right. And the worst thing you can do is throw it away.
Absolutely.
That's the worst thing that can happen. Oh, I messed this one up. It's like the first 2 briskets in my life I did. Both of them hit the trash can. Junk.
Yeah.
So
you're not going to be successful. Questions in the chat. So do you use any binder on your briskets? Do you wrap them? And also, what rub do you use?
When I do a brisket, my method, the night before I trim the brisket, and I'll put it in a full aluminum pan, and I hit it with a good coat of either sea salt or kosher salt on both sides, and I'll leave it open in the pan in the refrigerator. The next morning when I get up, get it ready to put it in the smoker, I hit it with a layer of Butcher Barbecue steak and brisket rub, and then I hook it with another. Yeah, what's that?
Uncle Steve's in the chat. I thought
Uncle Steve, or whatever, whatever's handy. Okay, and then I'll hit it with a mixture of salt and pepper, and then I'll cook it. I cook it usually at 285 degrees for a go-to temperature that's, I maintain usually 285, and I cook it up to 165 degrees, and I always keep my measurements in the point. I don't worry about the flat. I don't take multiple measurements. I have found that the flat will follow the point. So just worry about that point temperature. And at 165, I wrap it, and then I'll crank that smoker up to 310 degrees and finish it off. And I wrap in foil. I don't wrap in butcher paper. And I always cook fat side up. And and when it hits 210 in the point, I pull it, and depending on how long I let it rest at least an hour. But depending on how long, what I'm cooking for, or who I'm cooking for, I've left them in coolers, 5-6 hours, and they just get, the longer they're in that cooler, it seems like the better they taste, up to a point, while they're warm. And that's my method, and it's been pretty successful.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about your podcast. It's been, it's been really, successful, really good. You've had some big names on, some big guests. Where did the name The Owl's Nest come from?
In our area, I live in a little community called Ooltewah. It's spelled OOLTEWAH. And it's an Indian word, and it means place of the owl, owl's roost. And the local high school are the Ooltewah Owls. It's the kind of the trademark of our community. And when my friends and I were getting together, forming a team, we were bouncing around names. And I said, how about Owl's Nest? Because the literal meaning of Ooltewah. And everybody said, yeah, that's it. And so it just stuck, and we've stuck with that name. It's been real successful for us. Everybody, of course, around here, everybody loves the name, but it's done well. It's a good name. It's a good name. That's how it happened. It wasn't nothing weird or anything, but and people are into owls. I don't know if over in the UK, but here in the United States, owls are they're a very collectible item. People bring me owls 4 or 5 times a year. Somebody will drop off an owl. I've got quite a collection. I ought to put it up in my studio. I think I will. Yeah. Put it up on a shelf. I've got about 20 owls. And yeah, I don't know what that means, but so what? So what?
It's cool. A lot of people do collect owls. Yeah. Over in the UK, I wouldn't say they're common in the UK, but they're certainly around. But yeah, nice looking creatures, to be honest. They are. I think they're beautiful. We get barn owl. Have you ever seen a barn owl? Do you get them over in
I've seen pictures. I've never seen a real one. It says there's an owl that lives in my neighborhood. In the morning, you can hear it, but I've never seen it. They tell me that the owl is like the lion of the forest. They're the most feared raptor. I mean, more so than an eagle and a hawk. Is the owl's the king daddy of the forest. So I'll take their word for it. I'd like to see it.
Watching on Facebook, he asks, how do you season an owl?
I don't think you better kill. I think if you killed one of those things, you'd get quite a crowd, but it'd be the wrong crowd.
Yeah, you're probably right.
You'd be inviting the judge to your next barbecue, I think.
Definitely.
So,
Okay. Uncle Steve says he thinks that owls are the either a sign of good luck or wisdom.
I've heard the wisdom. I don't know about the good luck part. You know, the wise old owl, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Say the wise old owl. So
Yeah.
definitely.
There's all kinds of good videos of owls on YouTube and stuff. There's them capturing animals. Their talons are huge. I mean, they're deadly. Like they could pick up a small child and carry it off.
So your podcast's been running for a while, isn't it? Since March.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
The podcast, yeah. Now my show, I've been over. It's been my barbecue show has been over 2 years on that I've been doing it live. But before I did that, I did an automotive show here in Chattanooga on regular radio. I did that for 20 years. People would call in. Have y'all ever heard of Click and Clack over there? Do you know who those guys are?
No.
Okay, there were two guys that they're brothers. People they would do. They were mechanics, and people would call in and go, "Hey, like on my show, they go, "Hey, Steve, my check engine light's on. My engine's got a miss. What do you think it might be?" And we'd tell them what we thought it might be. And I did that a long, long time. And the last couple of years I did it, I simulcasted the show onto Facebook. And so I was getting more customers, and I do it for advertising. That's why I do my show is for advertising of my business and my my barbecue business.
Mm-hmm.
And I was getting more customers from the Facebook feed than I was from the radio feed. And I was having to pay for the radio feed. And so I'm thinking, why am I paying? Because, because I'm getting more of my customers from my free platform than I am from my pay platform. So I just stopped doing the radio and just kept doing internet. Worked out good.
Facebook definitely seems to be the place to do sort of live shows, talk shows, things like that. You definitely get a lot of almost opportunist views. People just scrolling through their feed, and you appear similar interests. It seems a lot more set up for this kind of whole platform, whereas YouTube is very much pre-recorded videos. Although they're trying to ask you to do more and more live videos, they're not really giving much in the way of help to bring your viewer rating in for YouTube.
Yeah,
you see that our views are on Facebook.
The thing what I do mostly, it doesn't seem to play well on YouTube. Although I post every show to you. I've got a YouTube channel. I post every show to it. Because you never know. It may one day, somebody may look at Owls Nest BBQ's YouTube page and it may explode. Who knows? But you're right, Matt. It's Facebook. I wish if I had my wishes, I wish Facebook would have a better way to monitor chat. YouTube has got a great format, and people don't use it as much. And then Facebook has got the most people using it and has the worst, the worst chat. But I think they're trying to drive everybody to their platform, their chat, their live stream platform.
They're certainly moving in the right direction.
Absolutely. Well, I'm a huge Facebook fan, and I'm a big Mark Zuckerberg fan. A couple years ago, they were dragging him through the coals over here, making him testify, in Congress, and a lot of those guys didn't understand. One of the senators said, how do you make money? It's free. And he didn't understand why Mark Zuckerberg's a billionaire. And I thought that was pretty telling of ignorance on that senator's part. I personally think that they ought to hang a medal around Mark Zuckerberg's neck, because what he's done for small people like myself, small business people, giving us a platform to get our message out, to pinpoint an audience. For $100, I can buy an ad on Facebook, and it'll reach 15,000 people, and I can pinpoint those people by ages, demographic, race, income, and it's an amazing platform for advertising. And used to advertising, you used to have to call the newspaper. They'd send a salesman out, and you'd have to take the copy back, get it approved, and put it in the paper. It took 6 or 7 days to get a newspaper ad in the paper. And now you just flip the switch and you're talking to people. So I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Big fan.
So you've had some big names on the show. Who's been your most favorite to interview, or what's been the most memorable interview that you've done? I'm not going to ask you to pick who your favorite person was. What was the most memorable?
Oh gosh. Oh God, that's a good one. I think I'm trying to think of all the people, all the big names I've had on. A couple months ago, I had Malcolm Reed on, and his wife, and Rochelle, and she doesn't do a lot of interviews with him for other people. And I was really, I was flattered that she would come on and with Malcolm. And she's a very intelligent person and very interesting. And the old saying, but behind every great man is a great woman. Well, I can see why Malcolm is so successful now, because Rochelle she is very savvy in marketing, and I really enjoyed that interview. I like, sitting down with a husband and wife that have gone through it together, knowing that, my wife and I have been through good times and bad times together. I kind of feel what he's going through. And that was a good interview. I thought they were very forthcoming, and they talked about their relationship a little bit. And that was a good one. That was good one. And anytime I talk with David Bosca, it's always a lot of fun. I'll tell you, the easiest interview you'll ever do is if you get Lene Oxley Loop on. All you have to do is open the mic and say, "Good evening, Lene," and just sit back, and she will talk. She will talk straight, and I mean, it's not talk either. She's a very interesting person, and if you could ever get her on, she's great. She's fantastic. She was a lot of fun.
Sounds cool.
Sound like a man that we need to pick your little black book of contacts from.
I got a good one. Not as good as some. There's others that got better ones, but I got a pretty good one. There's a few numbers I got.
Oh, so here's another question for you. So what made you actually jump from Facebook over to your podcast? What was the actual thinking behind it? Because obviously you said your Facebook was a advertising medium and things like that. What made you take the plunge into podcasting? What?
It was something that I wasn't doing, and I was sitting there. I was listening to a barbecue show one time in my car, listening to a podcast. I was driving to Knoxville, and I thought, why don't I do this? I've got the equipment. I mean, it's easy to do. And I said, that's just another format I'm missing. And so that week, in March, that's when I decided I'm going to do it. Every night after the show, I'll post this one. When I do any show I do, I just post it to YouTube, and then I post it to Spotify, and then they beam it out to the other platforms. It's not, I'm not getting a whole lot of listens, but there's a few people that listen to it. And, it's, if somebody enjoys it, I know I love when I mow grass and do yard work. That's what I listen to, or barbecue shows. And there's so many, there's so many good ones out there. Gosh, you've got, of course, Greg Rempe's is the best. You've got Kevin Sandridge, the Barbecue Beat. The fella, the barbecue joints. I forgot his name. His are great. You got Lendl. I mean, there's just so many guys out there with so much knowledge, and they're really good. They're really good at what they do, and I enjoy listening to them. And if somebody wants to listen to me and enjoy it, let them have it. And they might come in and being local, they might come in and buy something, at the store.
Absolutely.
Say, I heard your podcast.
That's a good thing. Let's talk about your store. So how long have you had your store open? What started you? What made you decide that, you know what, I want to open a barbecue store?
It'll be 2 years in February that we've had the store open. 3 years ago, we had a tremendous fire at the gas station, and I mean, this was a big fire. It was in our back garage, and it was also in the room where my store is. And when the firemen put the garage fire out, they came through the front doors of that room where my store is now. And of course, that store was ruined. That room was ruined. And but before the fire, I had set up a little corner. It used to be our sales room, and I set up a little corner. And I had and I put up some shelves, and I called David Bosca, and I said, David, can I buy some product from you and sell it? I've got an idea. And he goes, yeah. And he helped me, and it was selling pretty good. I mean, it was not like it is now, but it was, it was gaining some momentum. And so when they were doing the reconstruction after the fire, I said, I'm going to just turn this whole room into a barbecue shop. I've got the space. There's no rent. And it wasn't, as far as a capital investment, it's, when you've already got the property, there's not really, it's a little bit, but it's not crazy money. And, and that's what I did. And that was 2 years ago in February, and it has grown, and we've almost outgrown it now. So, and so crazy idea, but
it's obviously doing something right. That's for sure. You got a gas station and a barbecue shop.
Yeah, I've been at the gas station 37 years. Wow. I opened up that gas station in 1983 on Christmas Eve. I was 23 years old. Can you imagine that?
Wow.
Christmas Eve, you're opening up a business, you're 23 years old.
When I was 23, I tell you what, I didn't even know what direction I wanted to go in properly, let alone.
I didn't even know what arm it was under. And, it was quite a ride. It's been quite a ride.
Yeah,
it's the only job I've ever had. After
run down what sort of stuff you've got in your shop. What sort of products have you got? What do you stock? What do you sell?
Oh gosh, we got all the biggies. Suckle Busters, Butcher Barbecue, Meat Church, Hot Wachula, Swamp Boys, Sweet Smoke Q, Heath Riles, Killer Hogs, Malcolm Reed, Swine Life, Code 3. I try not to leave anybody out. Sassy Barbecue. She's from Florida. I know I'm forgetting some people. Myron Mixon. I've got a huge Myron Mixon selection. I said Hot Wachula. Bad Byron's Butt Rub. We just picked that up recently. That's been a good seller for us. A lot of sauce. Everybody I have, I get their rubs and the sauces. So you can pair them. There's a fellow out of Memphis. It's the Memphis. Oh gosh, it's a little company, but his stuff is really good. It sells well. It's got a unique taste to it. And I got a little sampling bar where people can come in, and everything that I sell, it's out and open. They can, get a taste of it. And I tell them to be careful too, though, fellas, because a lot of times you'll taste a rub and you'll like it, but it tastes different when you cook with it.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, there's no other way to judge whether you're going to like it or not except to taste it. In one example, we've got a rub that's made by a company here in Chattanooga, and it's a very strong rub. It probably has more ingredients than any. It's called Lucius the King rub. It was made by a pit master in Chattanooga back in the early 70s, and it's got the list of ingredients is incredible. And if you just taste it right out of the bag, you go, ugh. this is a strange tasting concoction.
Mhm.
But when you put it on chicken, especially chicken, it's wonderful. It's a wonderful taste. So, I try to tell people, be careful. It could be different. You try to, guide them in the right way. And of course they'll ask me everybody always asks me, what's my favorite rub? What's my favorite rub? And I try not to be prejudicial and say, you need this. I'd say, go back here and taste them all. Get your favorite rub, not my favorite rub.
Yeah.
And people like to come in here and spend time. That's what I like about it. In a service station, people come in and they're not happy. They're stressed out because their car's broke, or they're buying something like tires. Who the heck wants to buy tires? That's not a fun thing. And but the barbecue store is fun. He's given a whole new light to our business, and people are happy to come in and they like to spend money, spend time, and they like to talk barbecue. And that's what I like to do too.
Do you get many people come in for sort of service on their cars and then go into the barbecue shop, spend money in the shop? Or do you, I guess the other thing is, do you find that you get more return customers in the car part because of the barbecue shop being there? I know
that's a good question.
I get my car serviced if there was a barbecue shop next to it.
I have people that I've had people come into the barbecue store that didn't know we were a gas station. People are strange, fellas. I'm telling you, Matt and Ryan, I've been there 37 years, and I still have people that come by and say, "Oh, I didn't know you fixed cars." You think of all the thousands of dollars you've spent on advertising, and somebody knows, I didn't know you fixed tires. And they came in for the barbecue store. They saw barbecue out on the front lawn, and I picked up a couple gas station customers from people that have come into the barbecue shop, and vice versa. And I've got people that some people come in and they'll sit down like they're going to wait to have their car service. They'll run over there and they'll look around, and I'll see them on the cell phone, and they're telling their friends about it, and they'll buy something. And some people, I say, you can go in there and look around if you want to, and they go, nah, I'm not interested. So, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah.
I know I'd certainly be in every week saying, can you check my tire? Or, it's making a funny noise again, just to get it in the barbecue shop.
There was a fella that drove up from a town in North Georgia it's Dalton, Georgia. It's about 30 miles from Udawan. He drove up today, and he dropped a pretty good amount of money with us. And he said, "Man, I wish we had one of these things in Dalton." And he goes, matter of fact, I wish there was another one closer. He said, I said, I know, that's why I opened it. I said, we don't have anything like this. And there's not, the closest thing to us is a good friend of mine who runs the Ace Hardware, a hardware store about 10 miles from me. They've got a pretty good selection. And between the two of us, we're about the only place people can go for a good selection. You can go to the grocery store and, get that stuff. But that's what we've been having to get for years, whatever we get online or whatever we settle for at the grocery store. And that's what I did. I didn't like settling for, a Montreal steak rub all the time. I wanted something different. And you can get it in my place.
That sort of leads me on to another sort of question that is a little bit further down, but as we were on the subject, have you noticed sort of any sort of relationship between the type of cookers people are buying and also the type of rubs people are using as well? So like you get the pellet sort of the people who use pellet cookers and stuff like that, so they go for a particular sort of flavor profile, or do you think sort of like the techie guys, they sort of like do you sort of like get the question that I'm saying? So basically the flavor profiles of the rubs, you think they're related to the type of people that use the type of cookers?
Ryan, it's not so much the rubs, it's the pellets. I was amazed at the questions about pellets that we get. I didn't realize that was such a thing with these people. When I first got mine, I got oak pellets. I'm an oak guy. That's what I use. I use oak. That's just what I use.
Yeah.
And but people would come in. Have you got peach pellets? No. I like peach pellets. Okay. I like apple pellets. I like cherry. I like to combine my pellets. All in the questions of flavors of pellets, quality of pellets. They're worried about the quality of pellets. And what the most unusual question I get asked is, how much do these things burn? How long do the pellets last? And that's to me, it's obvious. If you cook at 180 degrees, they'll last a long time. If you cook at 450 degrees, you're not going to get much gas mileage out of those things. You know what I'm saying? It's the hotter you cook, the quicker they're going to burn. It was surprising to me because it was like they're not expensive pellets. They don't break the bank. I think I've got a 35-pound bag is $34.95, and $1 a pound.
Yeah, exactly.
Who cares how much they burn? Just throw some more in there. I just thought that was what really puzzled me, and I still grapple with trying to answer people when they ask me that. And I just tell them, it depends on you. How hot you want to cook it, and if you're going to be searing steaks, you can all day. You can watch that pellet hopper. You can watch them go down. If you're going to cook at 220 degrees all day, you won't have to add pellets to it. So that was kind of the thing that I was amazed at. As far as the flavor profile, they don't. There's nothing I've seen in common yet. It's hard to get. It's hard to if you're new to the store, it's hard to wrap your head around so many different selections. That's the first thing they have to deal with. Like, the guy's just too much to pick from. And then, I kind of got them. What do you like? You like hot? No, I don't like hot. Okay, well, you don't want that. This is a good hot one. This is a good not so hot. This is a good in between. And there again, the sampling area really comes in handy.
Yeah.
If I can just get them back there and touching it and mixing their own, they'll buy a lot. I can just get them to do something hands on, and that's why we do. That's why we have it back there.
Fair enough. Pickles wants to know if you have any plans to expand your barbecue business.
As far as another location, I don't. I've got a little bit of property behind me. I could build a bigger store on. I was back in the back when we got. We had 20 Green Mountain Grills delivered today, and I was back there putting those up, and I was kind of looking, just supposing what I could do, just kind of looking at it. That's probably what I would do if it came down to it. I'd add on to where I am right now, because I've got plenty of space in the back. I hope it got bigger. I hope it gets bigger. I'd like for it to. The thing I like about it is the people you deal with. The people that I've dealt with so far, 90% of them are very professional. The people that you buy the rubs and the sauces and the items from, they're very, very professional, and I like that. They respect your time, and I respect their time, and we've had real good relationship. I have not had a bad business dealing yet on the barbecue side. So that's kind of nice. Seems like everybody's on the same page, and I do like that part of it.
Yeah, fair enough. So you've done Well, you've got into the competition cooking scene, haven't you? A little bit. What's been your best call, and can you walk us through some of the process that you've done for your cooks?
Yeah, our best finish was 3 years ago down in a little town called Calhoun, Georgia. We finished 6th overall in a KCBS contest. It had some pretty big teams in it, and we were thrilled to death, fellas, because we were in the mix, and when they were calling the names, I could feel the excitement that a lot of these guys feel every weekend, and we're figuring out, I told my partner, I said, Dan, we're in this, we're in the mix, and that was a lot of fun. The process, I went to a barbecue school. I've been to David Bosca's school. I've been to Rub Bagby's school, and I've been to Donnie Bray's school. I pick things from each one that I like. I follow Donnie Bray's timeline. His timeline is pretty exact. Follow a lot of David Bosca's seasonings. I try to channel Rub Bagby's attitude. That's the best thing about Rub Swamp Boys is his attitude. He's great. I mean, he's a fantastic teacher, and he makes honest to God, he makes the best prime rib I've ever put in my mouth. It is incredible, the prime rib that he makes. I've got a book like everybody else does, and I've got a time chain that we use. I've got my ingredients all. I'm pretty efficient about it. I got a checklist. I've got we got a trailer, and I like competing. I miss competing a whole lot. Last couple of years, we haven't been able to do it a lot. Business has been good, and it's tough to get away, especially this year. And we do a lot of local contests too. They're a lot of fun, but I treat the local contest just like I would a KCBS event. When I go there, we have a good time, but I'm probably a little too competitive by nature. I like to win. I'm not a good loser. I'll be the first to tell you. I've broken my share of thermopins, throwing them up against the wall. When I played tennis, I had a tennis racket that had more airtime than Lindbergh on it. I'm just not a good loser. So I've thrown a golf club in my life. But I like the competition. I would, if I could, honest to God, if I could, I would cook a barbecue contest every weekend. If I could do like a lot of those bigger teams do 50 or 40, 50 contests a year, I would do it. I love the people that are there. I love the competition. I love the adrenaline rush you get when you start turning in at 12 and you're going to 1:30. It's just one right after the other. I love that feeling. Yeah. And it's a great feeling. It's a great sport. It can be a family sport if you want it to be. And I encourage people that you can do it with your family, and a lot of teams do. They sure do.
Excellent. What sort of thing do you cook on when you're doing your competitions? Have you got a proper competition rig, or
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got it's a 30 about I'm trying to think how big my trailer is, because I had a real big one and it was too big. And I bought this. I think it's I think mine's a 14-foot. Well, from the front of the toe where you put the hitch on to the back, it's about 32 feet. It's got a little porch on it. The inside is, I've got it set up for the contest stuff. And I cook on I take 2 cookers to every contest. I cook on a Southern Q gravity feed made by Scott Smith down in just north of Atlanta. He makes a real good cabinet smoker, a gravity feed, holds temperature perfect. It's a wonderful machine. And I take I've got a pit barrel cooker I use to cook my ribs on. Mm-hmm. The pit barrel cooker is it's a wonderful tool for ribs. It's a rib cooking machine, and those are the only 2 cookers I take. That's the only 2 I need, because you don't cook very much, at a contest. I'm going to try if I can do some more contests next year. I'm going to move a Green Mountain Grill into the equation. I know Jim Elser, Sweet Smoke Q down in Florida. He uses a Green Mountain Grill, and I know he does it for this chicken, and he scores really well with it. So, and it does cook chicken really good. So I might move it into the equation, get a little Daniel Boone and put it on there. But some people bring big cookers. Some people bring big old pits to the contest. Some people just bring little ones, like I do. The pit that I use, the Gravity Flow, it'll hold. I think you can cook. Let's see, it's got 3 shells. I think you can cook nine pork butts on it if you're just cooking pork butts. Of course, you don't cook 9 for a contest, but that's how small it is. It's not a big cooker.
Pickles wants to know if you've had any ideas of hosting a barbecue competition in your town.
Oh, I've done it a million times. We have a little area. Yeah. We've done a bunch. We got one contest. It's an annual event. It's called the Lamar Johnson Classic. It honors I put it together to honor African American pit masters that came before us, because those guys are the ones that really they developed the techniques and developed the food taste and developed the barbecue that we call American barbecue now. And they've been very successful. A lot of fun. We do one in the spring where the teams have to sell barbecue, and then we have a little competition set up. So we're no strangers to competition organization here. I got a couple buddies that help me, and the turnouts are just they're insane. The turnouts are insane. A couple years ago, we had Mike McLeod from the World Food Championships gave us. We did a steak competition and a barbecue competition, and it was sanctioned by the World Food Championship. So the winner of the steak championship and the barbecue championship got golden tickets to the World Food Championships.
Oh, wow.
And Mike and his staff came down and ran the judging and the award ceremony for us. Now, I don't know if you know Mike or much about the World Food Championships, but that's like having, let's see, I'm trying to think. That'd be like having Nick Faldo come out to your house and give you golf lessons for the heck of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying, pretty good golfer.
Yeah, it's pretty serious stuff then.
Yeah, pretty serious golfer.
Yeah.
And that's what it's like when Mike and his staff show up. It's they're big time, and we were just thrilled to death to have them. That was probably the best one. That place was packed. I mean, you couldn't stir people with a stick. You couldn't fit a credit card between people. They were elbow to elbow.
Yeah,
so they're fun. They're fun to do. They're fun. We're working on a little one right now for the neighborhood. We're going to do a little food contest here in our neighborhood on the 17th of October. So I enjoy doing it. I wish I had more time to do some more, but right now at this point in the career, it's just a creative outlet for me. Yeah. Everybody's got a little creative side, and that's what I like to do.
Fair enough. So we all have bloopers. We want to know what your biggest or funniest blooper has been.
On the show?
Yeah, why not?
That's easy. That's easy. I had the first. Let's see. It was in the first 6 months that I was doing the show, and I mean, it was every week. It was a freaking disaster. I forgot to turn a button. When you sit down in this studio, it's there's a lot of stuff going on, and and it's easy to forget. And I was not a tech guy, and so I was trying to push buttons and get things set up, and I landed Brad Leinecker as a guest, and he's I'm sure you've heard of Brad. And he's a barbecue cooking machine, a restaurant owner, great guy.
Mhm.
And I had Brad on, and the first, I guess the first 20 minutes of the interview, you couldn't hear us because I didn't have the volume turned up.
Oh man.
I know. And I'm sure. And when I found out, I went, "Oh crap!" I said, "Hey, Brad, hey, that's I can hear you now. We can hear you now, Brad." And and that was pretty embarrassing. That was pretty embarrassing. And to have a guy like him on, then people couldn't hear him because it's hard for me. I've got a friend when I do my show. I've got a friend at his house, Jeff. He monitors the chat and kind of engages people. I can't do that because you can't read Facebook's chat. And there's a way to bring chat into the program that I use, but then you can't see the screen. So it's just it's a constant battle with it. Yeah. And so people were saying we can't hear you, but I wasn't seeing them say that. So finally somebody texted me. One of my buddies texted me on my phone, and I do see that. And that's when I said, oh. And it was just, it was as simple as doing this and to make the sound come on.
Yeah.
That was the biggest blooper. Yeah, I'm sure if you asked other people, they probably have a list as long as your arm about all my on air bloopers. But that's the biggest one. That's the biggest one I remember.
Another question from Pickles. He wants to know what your favorite holiday foods are with Christmas and Thanksgiving coming up.
Oh gosh, turkey. I love turkey. I'm a turkey guy. I've always liked turkey. Nothing about them. Turkey, gravy, and mashed potatoes and gravy. It's pretty simple stuff. And for the bread, I like on Thanksgiving and Christmas, I like the croissant rolls, not biscuits or anything. I like those croissants, and that's about the only time I eat them. But that's what I want. That's what what do you want? I want turkey. I want mashed potatoes. I don't want dressing because it hurts my stomach, and I want croissant rolls with gravy. That's what I want. And don't mess it up. That's the only, don't mess this up. Do it right. But I can't eat dressing or stuffing because it for some reason it has always hurt my tummy. And
it's not good.
Who knows why, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's good food there. That's real good food.
And Daddy Dutch wants to say thank you for coming on the show last night. Did an awesome job. Oh yeah, thank you for coming on.
CJ and Daddy Dutch, thanks for having me. I had a good time. We were on the air. That show runs like 17 hours. I said, what are we on, a Jerry Lewis telethon here? Are we ever going to quit talking? And then people are, and I didn't know this on, they give people money on YouTube. Have you seen that? Do you understand that?
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
They run a super chat on the
and every now and then CJ would go, oh, thank you, and there's people throwing money at him, and I told him I feel like a stripper.
Yeah. I mean, we've got a PayPal link. If you want to support us, there's a little PayPal link up there somewhere. Send us some donations.
I'm thinking about starting a GoFundMe page. The Owls Nest BBQ Show GoFundMe page. I told somebody last night. We were talking about subscribers, and apparently I didn't know this either. See, it's good to talk with you young people. I get a lot of the inside dope when I talk to young people. And they were talking about subscribers and people they play their videos off of YouTube a lot just to get view counts for YouTube to monitor. And it's all kinds of crazy stuff. And we were talking about buying subscribers, and they said, yeah, people do that. And I said, well, I've got 247 subscribers. And so with the money I've spent on equipment and broadcasting, I'm paying about $1,500 a subscriber right now. So I need more subscribers. I'm paying for them. I'm just not giving it to them. But I need some more subscribers. So if everybody in Europe would pony up. There's a group over there. There's a fella over there in Austria. You may know who I'm talking about. They've got a Facebook page, the Austria, or it's a KCBS group over there. And if you guys are listening, because I'm on your time finally, I'm always trying to get them to listen to my show, and they go, "Sorry, it's 1:00 in the morning here. We're not going to do it." So if you guys are up and watching, hit that subscribe link, ring that bell, as everybody says.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll get that thing going.
Definitely. Yeah, we're just trying. We're trying to hunt down that 1,000 mark so we can bring in the super chats that Daddy Duck got.
It is beyond my comprehension of somebody giving me $25 to be on YouTube. I just cannot wrap my brain around that. But apparently, I'm the only one. And apparently, a lot of these guys live on that money. So it's just hilarious. It's who thinks of these things? It's somebody is, when you hear about stuff like that, I just feel so dumb. I do. I say, these guys, there are so many sharp people in the world, and they figure out these things. And why couldn't I have been born with that kind of gray matter? It's just amazing. But it's a lot of fun.
As you're saying, people just want to see him get wasted on super shots. So.
I think if you drink, they give you money. They'll give you money to drink, and they want to see how drunk you can get on a show. Good grief, that's
I can't work out what the pen flip is. It happens all the time, and I don't know what the pen flip's about.
The pen flip,
where they explain it.
We've got Kent in the chat if he wants to come on.
I'm sure he'll explain in a minute for me. Yeah,
full rundown, I'm sure.
Yeah. So the last question from us is one that we ask all of our guests that come on. Top 3 music albums, but we're a little bit flexible. Maybe you can do top 3 music artists if you want, or songs. Completely up to you.
Oh, I can do that. Number 1, John Prine, Sweet Revenge.
Okay.
Let's say. Number 2, John Prine. Oh gosh, what's the name of that album? I'll think of it in a minute. It's a John Prine album. And number 3. Gosh, it's been so long. It's been so long since I've listened to albums. I've been listening to Spotify for so long. I'm all over the board. I'll just give you I'll give you a favorite band. I'll say John Prine's my all-time favorite. You guys don't know who that is.
Not heard of him personally.
Like a folk. I don't want to call him a folk singer. He passed away this year. He was great. I kind of grew up with him. Just his music. And I like the Foo Fighters. And I'll tell you, there's somebody y'all may have heard of. And
I've heard of the Foo Fighters. I've seen them many times.
Well, there's another fellow from England that was and still is one of my all-time favorite albums of my whole life is called A Friend of Mine Is Going Blind. It's by a guy named John Dawson Reed. I don't know. He lives in England. I don't know if you've ever heard of him or not.
No.
He's a great singer-songwriter, and that album is filled with good music. So I can go, guys, I can go either way. I can go folk, then I can go headbang too. I can crank up Dave. I can crank up Dave Grohl and rock out.
So do you play any instruments then? Since you've got quite a strong guitar-based music,
I play guitar. Yeah, I can play guitar.
No,
we used to play a lot. I haven't played it I haven't played it seriously in years. But I wasn't terrible, wasn't great. Just self-taught, self-taught guitar player as a teenager,
Mhm.
and carried it over.
That's
We had a
good.
couple little groups in college that used to get together and sing and play, but nothing serious. I'm not making an album. I'm not making a living singing, so we see how that went. I'm making a living pumping gas.
Well, you're making a living, so that's a good thing, you know.
Yeah, I'm making a living. What do they call that? I'm introducing fossil fuels into internal combustion engines.
It's the circle of life, you know. They started off on the ground and in the air. That's where they're going back. So everyone, I wouldn't say everyone's a winner, but certainly that's where.
Oh, I know. It's
So,
no, I'm happy. I'm happy with what I do.
Yeah, for sure.
We put a couple, 2 or 3 kids through college, and putting one through college now, and just go in every day. You get to see people. I'm the kind of guy. I'm not a good salesman. If I had to go out and be in sales, I'd starve to death. But I am a good concierge. If you have a problem, I can solve it for you. I can do that.
Well,
And that's what we do.
To have.
That's what we do. Yep.
It's a good skill to have.
That's what we do.
Right then. So about time to wrap up the formalities of the interview. Steve, can we trouble you to stay on for the pub club afterwards?
I'd love to.
Excellent.
What's the pub club?
So the pub club, for people that haven't seen the show before, we open up the chat to the live stream to people to come on, ask you questions, join in, and just generally chill out and have a chat.
Yeah, I'd love to. That sounds like fun.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay, so let's. I'll close up the shop for the minute. We have a little sort of intermission, about 2-minute intermission, so we can go and visit the little boys' room, and then we'll come back and get stuck in and get people in, ask you some questions. So
all right, I'm gonna go check downstairs, check on the family, and I'll be right back.
Nice. Okay.
So
first of all, would like to thank you for coming on. He's off. Oh well, so we'll wrap it up anyway, and then we'll come back to it in a minute. So yeah, thanks Steve for coming on. Go check out his social platforms, the Owls Nest BBQ. You'll be able to see his show, YouTube, Facebook stuff. Go and check him out on there. So yeah, that's it for this week. Remember, if you're watching live, stick around for the pub club. Jump in, join in, ask questions, chill out, have a chat, have a drink. Thank you again for tuning in. If you don't watch us live, you can find us on the podcast. So we're podcasting on all of the platforms where you find your podcasts. We've also got Facebook group and Facebook page. Go check that out. Trying to build the big community, offer some different deals and different content. Share your content, YouTube channels, Facebook, Instagram, all of those things. Jump in the group, share, and we'll all support each other. If you have any interest in becoming a guest on the show, please email guest@bbqtalks.com. That's bbqtalks.com. And then obviously, if you enjoyed the show, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications for upcoming videos or reviews and new shows. Check out my Instagram, Facebook, YouTube @SmokingCues. Check out Ryan's Instagram, Ryan_G's_barbecue.stuff. And check out his YouTube, Ryan G's Barbecue and Stuff. And that is that. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, don't forget, Pub Club is now open. See you in about 2 minutes' time.